Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Miss Jean Hall. Good morning. Good morning, y'all. I'm so half asleep this morning. I woke up late. I saw YouTube cameras of Miss Ronnie on live. I didn't get to share them out yet this morning. I think they're not park minute, but if they are, good morning, Miss Official Lovejoy. I was half asleep, y'all. I couldn't go to bed last night. I've been having trouble sleeping all this week. I don't know if y'all got insomnia, but I do. Also, this is your morning reminder to take your medication. Good morning, James. This is your morning reminder to take your medication, okay? So make sure you take your medication this morning. Okay. So we all know today is Friday. It's Freaky Friday, It's Spooky Friday. Now I will say what's going on in the sector. And it's been the same old this week so far. Basically, I've already reported what's went down. The QI and Jay Dunn beef been going on for a minute now, so everybody pretty much knows what's going on there. Hey, Miss Liz. Hey, QI. Um, but that's been going on for a minute, so I'm I like both of them. I'm like Bennett. I ain't in it. All right. And then the Lemon and uh Rodney and Corio don't want no more beefs. Like, so she ain't worried about Rodney. So she don't care what he say. She ain't come back saying that. Miss Corio is not a content creator. Occasionally she will hit a panel or two. Mostly it's the hood table. She will hit mine occasionally. She will hit Miss Ronnie IQs occasionally. But Miss Corio is not a content creator because we've been trying to get her to do it, child. But Miss Corio don't want to do all that. Hey, Red Vines and Popcorn. Good morning. And K-Fit and Rodney, I don't think they'll. I don't know. They could possibly make up in the future. I don't know if it's up and stuck. I mean, K-Fit could tell me herself if it's up and stuck. I'm not sure. Rodney, if he could tell me, I don't think it is. I mean, he didn't go too far. She didn't go too far. They roasted and gagged each other, but it wasn't like vicious, if that makes sense. They didn't go below the belt. They didn't. I didn't hear Rodney say anything about K Fit's child. I didn't hear K Fit say anything about Rodney's family, right? So I don't think they went too far. They just roasted and gagged and made a little fun. Now, if y'all didn't know, Reed has been doing lives from her backup channel, right? Not her backup, her business channel. Okay, I've been sharing on my wall occasionally. Sometimes I miss her lives, right? But she has been doing lives from her business apparel thing. She says she's not back though, so I want to report that she says she's not back. Although people are saying you never left. That's what people are saying. I'm repeating what the people say, y'all. Reed came back and she talked, about KRN's situation and all that. I did report the other day exactly what she said in her live about, the situation with QB and all that. I got to go back and rewatch the KRN live. I missed that one. I try to keep up with everything. KRN did go live himself, you know, and we basically, I will give KRN credit. When most of the time that you did give Rodney credit on the fact that he wasn't just fighting the women this time, he was fighting the men. That was an unbiased opinion in my aspect. So, um, you know, that's amazing because, hey, Tay Bay Forever. Hey, Miss Catherine. Good morning. Um, but yes, um, I do believe that, that was a good unbiased representation because, he's got a personal relationship with K Fit, right? So therefore, it's going to be a little biased sometimes because they're friends in real life, right? So of course it would be biased. I mean, but he did a great job of keeping his feelings out of it, if that makes sense. And making it unbiased by giving the benefit of the doubt and saying the different things, regardless if you like Rodney or you don't like Rodney, right? There's a lot of things that Rodney does that I may not agree with, but there's a lot of people in these streets that a lot of things they do I may not agree with. Um, you know, I try to be as unbiased as possible. Sometimes, even when I talk about VS situation, I reported what Miss China White said verbatim. I was being unbiased. People think that you can't be unbiased, but you can. Even if you're personal friends with a person, right? As long as you're not putting stank on it, right? And you're not adding to it, you get what I'm saying? Then you can be unbiased. You can talk about the news and what is going on and even report on something that is negatively said about your friend, right? But you got to make sure you don't put no stake on it yourself. Because then you're over here co signing what somebody else said about your friend. See, that's where they talk about the amen section, right? The amen section, the hallelujah section, right? That's where a lot of people get in trouble. You can be in a chat. It's like, okay, with Lemon and Diva, their situation that they have going on. I like both Diva and Lemon, but you don't see me in the amen section adding to the problem. I'll come down, I'll say hey to everybody in chat. I may give my personal opinion on something like, hey, I didn't like the way that went. Or, hey, that's funny what you said right there. But most of the time I don't even do that, but I'll just be like talking to the people in chat, like, ooh, the bullets is flying, I'm gonna jump under my table. So I may make a funny joke, right? Like I'm gonna jump under my table. I'm gonna jump under my table, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But I don't add to it. I'm not in the amen section, right? There's a difference being in the amen section. I enjoy both content creators. And sometimes a lot of, like, I understand. Y'all, something started playing in my ear and scared the bejesus out of me. Um, y'all about jumped up and ran out the house. Uh, but you can do things without being biased, right? And I will say, I enjoy when Miss Ronnie IQ does her, she tells us about the world news, what's going on, and about the politics stuff. Because I really don't follow it, right? So without her commentary, I wouldn't know what was going on. I'm just saying, I don't follow it. It is Spooky Friday, y'all. We do got some scary stories lined up. I'm gonna tell y'all some scary stories, child. We're gonna be spooky. We're gonna be spooky. But yes, it is. It's Freaky and Spooky Friday. I'm just giving my little update on the beef sector. Just my little update. Now I will say today, like you said, it is Spooky Friday. Some stuff probably gonna go down today that'll carry us over the weekend. Some stuff probably gonna pop off somewhere. That's usually the way it happens. Usually all the drama starts. Okay, at first I started noticing the drama would happen around Wednesday, right? And then it would, Thursday, Friday, and then we'd get a new drama over the weekend, right? But recently, right? Recently, all the drama been happening during the weekend when I'm off. I'm like, so I have to give all that news cap in one day on Monday, and then it carries through the week sometimes. But I don't know what's gonna happen with Diva and Lemon. I'm like Bennett, and I ain't in it. And I did have fun. Now I will say, that Mr. Beasley and Mother had, like, Mr. Beasley's after Mother, and Mother said, "Yo, he don't care." So I don't think that's gonna go no further. Man, Mr. Beasley, if you're watching the crowd, you can let me know. But I know that he's doing lots, but I don't think James gonna say anything back. Now James did have his cleanup the other day, but it wasn't really a cleanup. It was almost like a town hall meeting. Like, come here, children, let me talk to you. That's what it felt like to me. Like, come here, come close, let me talk to you. Um, because when Mother does a cleanup, it's total different. So I didn't really see it as a cleanup per se. It was more so, let me give you a talking to. Hey DBZ Nation, good morning. So that's what it seemed like more to me. I'm trying to think if there's any other beefs I may or may not have missed. I mean, we talk. Oh, and Just Krista and Lemon are cool now, I suppose. It's the last I heard. Or they ain't got no problems. Like, you go your way, I go mine kind of situation. Um, so I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I thought I had heard that they just go their separate ways. You do your thing, I do mine. But you never know. I may be wrong. But child, I could have swore I heard that. Now there was a kerfuffle in the chat between the Miss O and Nubian, right? And people are saying, the male identified things coming back up again. But I think they worked that out too. I think they had a conversation. I think they okay too now. They talked in the chat for a minute, and I think they got to understand with each other. I didn't really understand where that all came from, and I was in ODS's chat, but I wasn't paying attention to the chat, so maybe that's where I missed it because I was half asleep, if that makes sense. Like I take a nap and I wake up, or if I'm just laying there listening and I miss stuff, and I'm like, how the heck did I miss this? I was in ODS's. What's going on? Yeah, Cruiser did a live. I saw Miss Cruiser's live too. I was getting my coffee and getting going, doing my morning routine that when I wake up. See, I watch everybody, they just don't know it. I'll be in the clouds. I also always hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? I forgot to do my shares this morning though, because I was half asleep. I woke up late. But I did see that I red balled and whatnot on a lot of hers. Because I don't think I was exactly up when she first popped live. I'm not sure. I don't know exactly what time she went live because I'm so half asleep I can't remember. But I did see Miss Cruiser do a live on that. They were talking about the male identified thing again. Somebody said Bree went live yesterday. I'm like, I did not see a notification from her. Is YouTube tripping? Like usually I always get her notifications. I didn't think she went live yesterday. Now I saw Ms. Zentel go live. I saw ODS go live. I mean, what's going on? Is YouTube tripping, y'all? Because if that's the case, I got to go back and watch a whole live. But I ain't seen her live. She been chilling. I did hear that KR is going on his business trip this week and everything that he's supposed to go on. And then, his birthday's trips after that because technically his birthday is during his business trip. So therefore, they had to, push it off a little bit. Or it was right before the business trip because business trip, you gotta do your business trips to make your money. So, all day. Also, because today's Friday and I won't be able to see her on her birthday, happy birthday, Shar. Even if you're watching in the clouds or if you pop through on the replay, happy birthday, beautiful. Miss Coffee's was yesterday. Happy birthday, Miss Coffee. Shout out to the beautiful peoples on their birthday. The beautiful people, the beautiful people. Yes, there is enough to support. I try to support in myself, and I know a lot of people may or may not agree with me. I try to support everyone. You know what I'm saying? So I like to go around and try to catch all the lives, and I at least try to come in, spend enough time there, even if I've got to go do something. I try to like and share, even if I can't be there the whole exact time. I try to. That's why I don't get mad if people have to catch my replay because I understand what it's like. I thank everybody for every tiny bit of support, large amount of support, like from left to right, up and down. I thank everybody for everything they do. But I don't share out Diva Tomboyish, and there's a reason why. She does not like shares, and I ain't getting a spanking. I almost got in trouble once. So if y'all don't see me share it, y'all just got to turn on y'all notification because I ain't getting in trouble. Mm-mm. Hey, Mama Global. Good morning. Hey, Miss Dovey. How you been feeling, Miss Dovey? I seen one of your lives. I was already in bed and I had missed it, but I ain't seen you go live as much. Are you okay? Is everything okay with you? I know you wasn't feeling good too long ago. I was just wanting to make sure you're okay. Hey, Mama Global, my beauty. I just want to make sure she's okay, because I got that. I did watch your music live the other night. I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I forgot what I was doing that night. See, Saturdays are my husband's days, and so I might come in and share and be there for a little while, but I usually have my sound turned down because we're watching movies together. You're getting better. See, I know you was sick. See, I catch a hold of them things, Miss Dovey, when people don't feel good. Hey, Miss Melissa Scott, Coffee Quiz. My nose is running today, Chad. I don't know if I'm trying to come down with something or not. But on Saturdays, me and my husband watch movies together and we go out and do things together. That's our day. And because I wanted to have like, because this does take a lot of my time, contrary to popular belief. I'm up watching all these lives and doing things. And in between, I'm trying to cook, I'm trying to clean, I'm trying to do things, right? Try to take care of the animals. Thank God I got a family that helps, right? And I love them so much. But like you're trying to do so much during the week that I want to make sure I make more than enough time for my husband, so and my son. And then Sunday is also semi family day, semi the day I do. Y'all, I'm a little bit of a geek, and I like playing D&D. And if you don't know what D&D is, it's Dungeons and Dragons. It's a role playing game, right? You make up a character, and the dungeon master makes up scenarios for you. Um, Good morning, Miss Tracy. I'll make sure I didn't miss you, Miss Tracy. Miss Melissa. Um, my nose has been running, y'all. My allergies have been acting up this week. I don't know if it's this weather change that's getting to me. I ain't been able to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like I love. Um, Usually I'm so put together. Y'all know, for me not to be as put together and have my notes and all this other stuff, I ain't been feeling too good. So yeah, my nose is like stuffy and all this other stuff, but it's because I've been sneezing, y'all, and I sneeze about 15 times a day. I got to take my allergy pill when I get an opportunity. I take Singulair once a day, and it works really good. Now, if you don't got insurance, right? If you don't got insurance, you can get the Zyrtec. It's a little more expensive, but you can also go on Amazon. And a lot of times you can buy that stuff in bulk and it's cheaper that way, right? So I just want y'all to know that there's a lot of times you can get it on Amazon cheaper. Um, and when Walmart and stuff, it seems like in store that, sometimes it can be a little high price. Also, if y'all ever see that medicine Omeprazole, I was on that for years. It is good if you have digestion issues, but there's another way to help a lot of digestive issues unless you actually have what I have, which is different. Um, get some probiotics. Like, if let's say you don't like yogurt too much, right? Get some probiotics and take that for about a week or two, and usually that'll help with your gut health and make it better, because leaky gut can also, there's a thing called leaky gut that can make you feel sick. Just saying, look it up. It's a thing. But yeah, I take Singulair once a day. Now my son, he had it so bad, y'all. He was on Alvaret. I gotta look that up, Miss Catherine, over the counter. I take mine in the morning, and then now my son was so bad that he took Singulair in the morning and Zyrtec at night. They used, they had him on the liquid form of Zyrtec, which made you sleepy. So that's why I gave it to him at night. But he would take his Singulair, and they have chews for kids. If y'all don't know that, if you have an underage child, they have chewables from Singulair. And my son almost had to have tubes in his ears because his sinuses wouldn't drain, and his ears, he kept getting ear infections, right? But I tell you what, once we found that combination, right? Once we found that combination, the doctor, I still say this, that doctor saved my son's ears. He saved our lives. My son stopped getting sick as much, right? He literally went from having ear infections and throat and all this. And I didn't take my son out in the cold like that, but I still couldn't figure out how he got sick all the time. And then we found out it was his allergies. Yeah, it was his allergies. So once he got on that right combination, and he didn't end up having to have tubes. He ended up like barely ever getting sick again. Like when he would, it would be once in a blue moon, and most time it would be like if he accidentally caught the stomach virus or, like something like that. Because he caught the stomach virus once. He got that, and it was awful because his little cousins came over and they had it. Nobody told us, and they gave it to the whole family. You know how that goes. Um, Kids spread things. But after that, he hardly ever got sick again. Allegra, I've heard Allegra works real good, and I'll tell you this: they do have a form of Benadryl, like if you have really bad itchy eyes and stuff, that is non-drowsy. Um, but now if you're gonna, most time I just say take the drowsy, but take it at night before you go to bed, and in the morning you'll feel a whole lot better. Um, I used to have that same problem, Mama Goble, and when I had my tonsils before I got them out when I was 14, um, mine would drain directly into my lungs instead of into my stomach like most people, and I would have that like where you just can't get rid of it. So I don't know if you. Good morning, Miss Coffee. And you be on your B-Day mode, girl. You have you some fun. And if you see Shaw, you tell her, I said, happy birthday. Good morning, Queen Diva. I had to have my tonsils out when I was 14 because I was literally sick for 2 months straight and they couldn't figure out, and they said if I didn't have my tonsils out when I did, I wouldn't be here because it was steadily draining into my lungs, and they said what would have happened is my lungs would have filled with fluid and I probably would have passed away in my sleep or in a very bad way. Let's just say it that way. So, make sure you take care of your allergies, y'all. But turn up. Let's turn up for the birthday. Oh, and in other news, so Miss Dovey's gonna start back Fish Fry Friday dance hall 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and all are welcome. So she's gonna do that on Fridays again. She's starting Fish Fry Friday, y'all, at the dance hall 7 p.m. Eastern. All are welcome. Okay. Also in other news, on this Monday, I want to put this out there. Everybody that's here, please spread the word. I want to have Mod Monday, which means anybody that is a moderator, right? I would like you to you can type in the chat, but I would really prefer to us have a one-on-one conversation if you can. Jump on the link when I drop it on Monday morning, and I want to have a conversation with mods. Basically, it's going to be like this. I'm going to give an example. I've done it once. As we're talking, I'm going to ask first off, what's your screen name? You don't have to say your real name. Like let's say Queen Diva, right? I'm going to use Miss Queen Diva as an example. She would say, hi, I'm Queen Diva. All right. I go, Miss Queen Diva, who do you moderate for? I moderate for Miss T Velocity. Right. And then I'm going to ask questions. So, as a moderator, what are some of the things that you've been through? Have you been attacked unjustly just because you're moderating? Have you had people give you good things? Like, have you gotten dropped when you drop in chats? Are you more well known because you're a moderator? Like, I don't want to just know the bad about moderating, right? I want to know the good, what good you've also went through as a moderator, right? Get to know the mods better. Talk about our situations. What your content creator expects. Do you have free reign as a moderator? Do you have? Do you like personally? How do you moderate? Right? Like, do you block people who disrespect? Do you time them out? Like, what is too far? You know what I'm saying? So people can understand where moderators are coming from and what point of view that they are coming from. But also, it gives the people a chance to get to know the moderators, right? Also, it gives a chance for us to speak on like, I was doxxed when I was a moderator. I've said it before. It wasn't a heavy dox. I will say that. I've seen worse, right? Maybe it's because I just don't have a lot going on. But also, that was when I was just a moderator. That was just when I was a subby, right? And since then, me and the first person has a ceasefire. I know who it was that did the first one. And the second one actually told me about it, and we made up. We cool. It was a thing. I'm just saying that what have you went through as a moderator, right? So I want to do that Monday morning, and if anybody can get up in mods and let them know, and if they can't make it this Monday, we're going to be doing that every Monday. So let's say this Monday you busy, you got a doctor's appointment, you can't make it, guess what? You can come next Monday, right? I want the moderators to be able to tell their stories. I want the moderators to be able to get more personal. You know what I'm saying? And the moderators who may not jump up on camera, you can be in chat and answer the questions, right? The ones, because we do have some moderators who do not want to jump up on here. But if you want to, you do not have to put your picture. You do not have to put your name fully on anything, right? It could just be your voice. I don't want anybody doing something that makes them uncomfortable. You got doxxed as well, Miss Catherine? Um, for no known reason. That's the way I felt about it when it happened to me, because the first person, I really didn't do anything to them, right? Or said anything to them. I was in the chat moderating when they got blocked, and because they were mad at the person that I was moderating for, and the fact that they got blocked, I guess they thought I did it when really I didn't. But you know, they came after me. That's all I can say, because technically I did nothing to the person, never said anything harmful to them, any of that stuff. But I would like to talk to all people who have moderated about it, because the CCs and everything, right? A lot of them can, and some of the content creators who are CCs can do this too, could speak for themselves, but a lot of moderators don't have channels, right? And I want to give them a voice, a place to be that is safe, and they can speak what they want to speak as moderators. I think that would be amazing. Hey, Miss Jill Comfort Song, good morning. So here's my question, y'all. I got some, today's Freaky Friday, right? Today is Scary Spooky Friday. We're going to do some scary stories, child. I do have, I'm doing an update right now for people who love my true crime. I will be doing, probably on Topic Tuesday, a recap, because, on what's going on with the, Lillian, J Dunn's going to get me. I keep calling her Lillian. Leilani Simon case. They're on day 5 of that trial. And then we're going to start going over the Sarah Boone trial. The one lady who zipped her husband up in a suitcase or whatnot. Because it's starting today. Today is day 1, right? But, I like to wait a little while into the case so that we have more information to go over, right? So Tuesday, I am going to go over those 2 cases, and I am going to keep an eye on, I have a note here that I'm going to keep an eye on the Aaron Spencer case, which is the one we watched yesterday, right? And to see if he actually gets charged. Good morning, my beautiful Q. That's my woman. That's my pretty big woman. Okay, sorry, I had to do that. Hey Ray, Jill, and all the pretty ladies in the chat. Okay, Miss Tracy. But yeah, I am gonna keep up with those. Those I've got a note here for myself to remember to keep an eye on that. See if he actually gets charged for unaliving the guy who was doing something to his child, basically. We went over that yesterday. I did watch. I heard Mova say the other day that he's been doing videos on the documentary. I watched the documentary. He's the Monsters, one that they did. Hey, Just Blaze. Hey, beautiful. And I watched the documentary. Now, I will say, if you watch the Monsters thing, right, you also need to go watch the documentary. Let me explain to you why. The Monster series does embellish a little bit because it's a TV show, right? So you need to go watch the documentary because you get more of, like, they actually show the court docs, all that stuff, and you get to see, like, they acted like the Menendez brothers did not cry during their trial or were not fully upset. And I'm going to say this. When I watched the series, I was questioning whether it was true or not about what they said about the father, right? But once I watched that documentary and I saw some more from that trial, because you got to think, when that happened, I was only a few years old. And when it happened, I wasn't. I think I may have been a year old, maybe 2. I was born in '87. That happened in '89. You know what I'm saying? And then they were sentenced in '99, so I wasn't but like 10 years old maybe when that trial went down. 9, 10 years old. I was a little bit kid, right? Um, so I was young. I was young, y'all. But hey, pretty chocolate girl, how you doing? Good morning. So anyway, uh, I've been watching the Mendez thing, and they are deliberating right now on whether changing that sentence. Now, here's the thing: they basically went with they were not trying to be found not guilty in the first trial. They admitted what they did, right? They were not even trying for the no guilty, really. They were trying for either A, they get murder in the first, or B, they get manslaughter, right? They admitted they did wrong. Okay, so that's a good thing to know. Oh, you want to know what? Now the Mendez brother thing is on Netflix. Big Skinny Jeans. Good morning. Also, it's on Netflix, and the documentary I believe is also on Netflix. Because I know I watched another one on. There's so many documentaries for them. There's another one on Amazon, but Amazon Prime. But if you want to watch the court docs, like the actual court channel that does most of the court case, we have 2 of them actually that I usually go to. I'm going to copy. This is the one for the Lillian Simon case. Right now, that's going on. Oh yes, both were on Netflix. So let me go ahead and get the 2 channels. I'm getting their actual channel. These are, if you want to watch true crime and you want to watch trials, actual trials, the Law and Crime is one channel. So you can go ahead and subscribe to the channel because they are sometimes who I pull some of my information from. So Law and Crime is one of them. The other one is Court TV. So it's literally where they I gotta make sure that I share this. They cover a lot of cases also. So I am subscribed to both Court TV and Law and Crime. I'm gonna drop their links so that if y'all want to subscribe over there, you can. You know what I'm saying? Also, I watch, okay, I don't know if y'all do this, but I watch scary stories to go to sleep to. Okay, I know this sounds funny, but it's because the dude's voice is so amazing. There's 2 guys that I watch, right? And there's this one story that I'm absolutely hooked to. It's called I Own a Mortuary, or I gotta look it up. It's Horror on the Rocks. He's amazing. Him and Lighthouse Horror. Let me see. What's Lighthouse's? Because I love watching Lighthouse. He's awesome. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's Lighthouse Horror, if I'm not mistaken. He's awesome. If y'all get a chance to listen to his stories that he reads on, his voice is so amazing. Like, he's a really good narrator. But he does scary stories. So if you want to do spooky stories for Halloween, he's awesome. I'm gonna post his channel because he don't know it. I like him. And then I watch his stuff to go to sleep to. And the other, Horror on the Rocks, there is a series that he does. Is that I Inherited a Mortuary, and I got hooked to it. And somebody even gifted me a membership over there. It was so nice, or whatnot. But he's got a really good people over there too. But his stories are amazing. I don't know why I can fall asleep. I swear. I could stay and say, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, pretty chocolate girl, Now we know. I used to actually sing babies to sleep over the phone for my friends. Like when their baby was really upset or sick or something, they would call me on the phone because there's something I have like some kind of I don't really know how to explain it, but me and kids, it's something about like I can like if a child's crying, I can just do a funny face and a child will smile. I don't know. They really love me, and I'm like, I only had one, but they just do. I'm just really good, like cheering them up when they're sad. I don't know what it is. I think it's because I'm crazy and I make them smile because I did the wee faces, all that stuff. My friends used to call me every time one of their kids was crying or upset or had a toothache to sing them. Yeah, to sing to their kids. Hey, oh wow, Missy, I'm sorry. I just put you back to sleep, child. Hey, good morning. I'm Missy Love. But I used to sing for all my kids, all my friends' babies to calm them down and stuff. It worked every time. And they would be like, "You're the baby whisperer." I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm good at it." Wow. I should have had more kids, but I only had one. Woo. Uh, but I do like Horror on the Rocks. If y'all ever get a chance, there is a series called I Inherited Mortuary. You can go to his playlist and find the whole thing so far. It's an ongoing series. It's actually really amazing. So, okay, Miss Dovey said, everybody get ready for the Texas Hold'em channel this second Sunday in November. All are welcome to participate and cash prizes. So they're gonna do another. Miss Dovey's gonna do another Texas Hold'em. Um, cause she gonna do that and that Texas Hold'em challenge this second Sunday in November, and all welcome to participate. Hey, Miss Diane. They sold y'all's family land in Mississippi. Man, I'd be so upset. Because I'm going to tell you this now. I will say this. My granddaddy on my mama's side, owned a trucking company. My great granddaddy. And the kids sold it, right? After he passed away. And a lot of the grandkids, now I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about grandkids like my mama and, all the people. They didn't get nothing. They didn't get none of their inheritance. Now I will say to this day, my dad was supposed to be left some land too, and he got screwed out of his inheritance also. Let's just say that happens sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It kind of sucks, but it does. Now my daddy's grandfather, he was a sharecropper. That's mostly what he did was sharecropping. But he also owned I forgot what it was, but it was something and they sold it off too. So child, them kids sometimes don't realize when they selling off you know, the grandkids and the great grandkids and all of our basically, legacy. They're selling off our legacy and don't even realize it. Right? Sometimes people don't. They start fighting over it, and so instead of one person taking it, everybody says, "Well, we'll just sell it." Well, see, that's when you'd have to put well, make sure that you go through there and bless everything because there's a lot of hurt that happen in those areas, and you got to say a little prayer, because that shit can be real haunted. It can be because you got to think about all the pain and anger and hurt that went down there. So you got to make sure that you do a little blessing. But, but, no, you didn't hear that on Wild Messy. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't call me that, girl. Shit, don't call me out like that. No, you did hear the door though. Now my front door, I think one of them opened it or slammed it or something. But I don't know. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I will say this: a lot of developers do try to come after family land, but yeah, we're gonna do a scary story. We go, we're gonna do a scary story. So I pulled up some scary story. Yeah, Messy be listening. Shh, don't be telling them be messy. Messy's snitching this morning. I'm telling. That's what Miss said. I ain't do nothing. All right, so I got like, hey Jay Dizzle, I got some scary stories to go over this morning. Now it is scary and spooky Friday, right? Or freaky and spooky. So freaky things that happen. So we I will be talking about. See, Monday is my Monday. Tuesday is when we're gonna go over the cases again on Topic Tuesday. I know we're supposed to let everybody else come up with the topics on Tuesday, but that's been the topic of discussion for us. So that's what's going to be Topic Tuesday, right? Because that's what's been going on. Hi, we a little freaky. See, right now we're on the spooky side more because it's Halloween, but there may be sometimes we get in some freaky subjects. You never know, because freaky could be a lot of things, right? Freaky could be, I'm talking about a freaky sneaky link, right? It could be that something freaky happened in the world, like somebody just passed through a door and nobody knows how they did it, right? That could be something freaky. You never know. Um, but yeah, I got some scary stories here, and I figured I'd now some of these are true scary stories. Um, and we're gonna read the one of the mystery of Enfield. Okay, let me go ahead and share this out. And I'm gonna talk in it's spooky season, y'all. We gotta do some things for Halloween, right? Let's see here. And then later we'll drop the links. And if anybody wants to come up, we can hash it up on that. Which one was I on again? I gotta make sure. Oh, here we go. Because I have a couple of them pulled up. All right, so I'm gonna talk to y'all in a low voice. Well, you have a good day, Ray. Make sure that you have a good one. Get some things ready, child. Uh, the mystery of Enfield Monster. One night in 1973, the two young Daniel children of Enfield, Illinois, claimed to see a weird creature lurking in their yard and trying to get in the house. But Father Henry McDaniel chalked their creepy story up to the active imagination of childhood. However, he changed his mind later that night after being awoken by strange scratching sounds. McDaniel grabbed a gun and flashlight and peered outside his front door. There, between two rose bushes, he saw a creature that was almost like a human body, just as his kids had described. It had 3 legs on it, a short body, and 2 little arms, and 2 pink eyes as big as flashlights, he recounted to the reporter. McDaniel said he fired 4 shots and was sure he had hit the creature at least once, causing it to make a hiss much like wildcats before it ran off towards a railway embankment. McDaniel was stunned when he saw the monstrous beast jump 80 feet in 3 jumps before quickly running out of sight. The police found scratches on the door screen as well as footprints in the dirt near McDaniel's home that looked dog-like with 6 toe pads, yet no clue pointed to an unusual creature. McDaniel's sighting made the Reading Eagle, but it was clear most people didn't believe it was true. It didn't help that a 10-year-old neighbor faked his own white eyewitness account of the beast only to later admit that his testimony was a prank against the McDaniels. This is supposedly a rendering of the creature. Yeah. McDaniel reported 2 more sightings to the alleged beast to local cops, but he said they eventually threatened him with jail time because nobody believed what he saw had been real. But McDaniel was adamant and stood behind his scary, true story. If they do find it, McDaniel said in an interview, they will find more than one. They won't be from this planet, I can tell you that. After McDaniel's public testimony about the Enfield monster, other eyewitnesses' claims began to surface. Monster hunters swarmed the town, and at least 5 men were arrested after firing shots in the area and claimed to have photographed the creature. To this day, no explanation has been uncovered for the small town creepy story. Oh, did I miss? Ooh, ooh, ooh. I missed it. I missed Diva. Let me go see what Diva has said. Let me go see what Diva has said. Diva says something on her wall. I want to go see what it is. I did miss it. I just woke up not long ago. Let me go look on Diva's wall, see what she has said. Let's see what Diva Tomboyish has reported. From 3 hours ago? Oh. Oh. So now Sassy and Miss Diva are going at it? Ooh cha. Ooh, breaking news. Diva Tomboyish is live right now about Sassy, the Sassy Show. I'm just saying, y'all. Hand in the air, Jesus. Hey, Nessa A, good morning. While we over here just, chilling. I'm over here looking and when on Diva Tomboyish as well, she said QI and J Dun's arguments have been making me literally crying. Now this is pure entertainment. Mine is calling real names, guilty but not unnecessary. I get it. Um uh Diva has a live up right now. I don't know how long it's gonna be there. It says Sassy, the grandiose narcissist. Child, if I can't even say the word grandiose, I swear to God, I'm gonna need some. I'm too half asleep this morning, y'all. Um, Diva said I'll be live in a few to review YTZ Presents Live, Present Live. It is amazing to me how quick Sassy can hit a panel to address QI on a situation, but cheer when something obviously alarming is taking place. Let's dissect her displayed behaviors, intellects. So, um, ooh, Diva was reading this morning, y'all. This is like reading a scary story within itself. Okay, I'm gonna read it to y'all. I'm gonna whisper it to y'all. Cheers. When a woman is verbally actually assaulted, unprovoked or warranted, I think unprovoked or unwarranted is what I think that Diva meant on that. Supports a woman that downplays all around her while spoiling her cat, but gave her child to her brother and quick to jump in issues that doesn't need help or concern her, but will sit quiet on issues that are obviously alarming. Now I understand why I gave God her a barren womb. Sassy is no different than these strange, barbaric women around here. God knew what he was doing. Barbaric Baron. I bet talent skin crawls every time you chat. You're wanting to be seen, man. Just barbarian news. Ooh, child. Lord have mercy. Let me go ahead and pass out over here. Grab my forehead. Good morning, Miss Corey. I was just reading from Diva Tomboyish's moderate her wall. Ooh, child. So it's a bit is you sassy. I don't know if you know this, but yeah, and I know Diva knows it because she the one that wrote it. But ooh, child. I'm gonna pass out, y'all. I ain't getting in that one. Mm-mm. I don't even know if Sassy gonna say anything back, but woo wee. I'm gonna faint. Oh wow, Messy, you gonna need to catch me. Hey, the Queen, before you react, that was something serious, y'all. That was something serious. I was like, oh Lord, have mercy. Oh shoot, I accidentally just clicked on a dang ad trying to get to the next page. Y'all ever accidentally did that? Mm-hmm. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and drop this link. We got more stories, but I'm gonna drop the link so I won't forget to do it in a little while. And if anybody wants to hit it, they can. To talk about anything they've seen today or might have heard that I might have missed. And also, I forget things, so I'm trying to make sure I do this before I forget. I'm half asleep this morning, y'all. I apologize. I'm drinking my coffee, though. Y'all got y'all's coffee? Also, did you take your morning medications? Don't forget. You got to do that. While I'm messy, I'm just passing out everywhere, child. I'm just passing out everywhere. I ain't, I'm like Bennett and I ain't in it. Um, I'm staying out of all the mess as much as I possibly can. I may report on the news, but I don't, I ain't trying to be a part of the news if I can help it. I do try to remain unbiased as possible. Hey, the hood table. So we was reading some scary stories, and in the middle of the scary stories, we found out another true scary story that's happening right now. You have fun for the Sabbath, Mama Global, and I got the holy oil and and the table. If you ever need to hide under it, throw some holy water on somebody, because we're gonna rebuke it in the name of Jesus. And you're gonna have fun on the Sabbath and praise His name. Yes. Okay. So as we were saying, a true scary story just happened. So basically, I'm guessing that Miss Diva, I got to go watch her live in a little while so I can give y'all a report on it on Monday. I'm guessing Miss Diva did not like what Miss Sassy was saying to Jay Dunn and QI or something, and she doesn't like that, and so she's talking about it this morning. And on her community wows, she basically had stated, um, that if she could say stuff, um, it's amazing how quick Sassy can hit a panel to address QI on the situation, but cheer when something obviously alarming is taking place. So I guess she didn't like the Sassy cheered or said some address QI, but cheered when what had happened to her over there or whatnot. So she gonna be reading it, chat. Um, and so woo. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss nothing, cause y'all know Diva Tomboyish community walls where all the stuff go down. That's where it goes down in the DMs. It goes down on a community wall. Now, me myself and I just try to share unbiasedly. And okay, so on my community wall, I share everybody, right? Or try to. Sometimes I miss some things because I be taking naps, or I might be busy or whatnot. But I try to share everybody equally. But like if I see something crazy and going down and I think y'all really need to see it, I'm gonna put above that title, ooh, it's going down over here. Get over here quick, right? Get over here quick. So if I see something now, if it happens 45 minutes after I've been there, sometimes maybe not. But let's get back to our scary stories, child. If anybody else has any breaking news, the news you can use, let me know, child. Let me know. Because I like to break the news you can use, child. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot going on today. I will say that somebody was saying something to Miss Zinta. I know she was reading somebody yesterday, and I didn't realize who it was. If anybody in the chat could tell me, because somebody was making fun of one of her challenges or something. And I'm like, you know, it goes down in it, Chad. They be telling folks. Oh, speaking of which, I might need to check my DMs, Chad. I might need to make sure I didn't miss something. Because you never know when you're going to miss something, Chad. Let me check my DMs. I'm going to start doing like other people doing. I'll be checking my. Oh. Oh, I love that. It's so pretty. I'm saving that. And that's going to be my new pictures. And I got to send that to myself. Oh, okay. Wait. Oh, y'all, I'm sorry for that buzz. I just heard it myself. I guess I touched the cord on my thingies. All right, y'all, wait just a minute. Oh, it's doing it again. Why? Something's crackling. Sorry about that. Let me go to over here. We're gonna read another scary story, y'all. We're gonna read another scary story. Do y'all have any specific, like, for the spooky Halloween, scary stories that y'all like? Would y'all rather have it be like a true story, a creepy pasta? How would you like that? Is my question. I'm gonna go ahead and um send this to myself right quick. Eh. Oh, I love those on my Missy. Thank you. Those are so cute. But I like myself. I like sometimes. Yes. Sometimes I like the more truer scary stories, but then some people like the we got to do some spooky stuff for Halloween. Have y'all ever heard? Okay, now y'all know Mississippi's got a lot of you know urban legends and whatnot. We have a lot of those. Like, there's quite a few. Um, have y'all ever heard of the Falk monster? Everybody knows about Bigfoot, right? Well, this is a true story. I got to tell y'all my own true scary story, right? Instead of just reading one. Okay, my father and his family went down there to Texarkana, right? Which is the Texas and Arkansas thing, right? Line. Okay, they were more on the Arkansas side though, right? Okay, so they were staying in this little like house, right? Um, and so basically they were sitting there, they were chilling, and the Bigfoot came up and started hitting on the window stuff. My dad shot at it. He heard it scream. It took off running, and then they went, hunting in the woods. Right? They went hunting in the woods. Okay. Now my uncle saw something in them woods, and to this day he won't tell nobody what he saw. He turned white as a ghost, y'all. He was pale. He won't even talk about it. So, Bigfoot is real, child. I even saw. Now, y'all gonna say I'm a liar, but I'm gonna tell you this. Where I used to live, there used to be nothing but woods behind my house, right? And my window was at least 6 over. My dad's 6'5", and he couldn't even touch. All he could do with his fingertips is touch the bottom of the window, right? And there's no way that a light was shining off this shadow to make it this tall, because the way that the light was, it would have cast the shadow downward, not upward, right? But I turned over one day and I saw the shape of a head in my window. I was like, ain't no damn way. Turn back. I acted like I didn't see it. And then I heard it knocking on the wall. Child, that thing had to have been at least 7'4", 7'5" to be his head in that window. The back of that house was jacked up off the ground, right? So my dad at 6'5" could barely touch the windowsill, the bottom of it, right? My dad's 6'5". He a big man. He almost as big as Bigfoot anyway. Child, Bigfoot real, Bigfoot real. But then we didn't see him after that, and we smelt this awful smell out there when we had this sighting. It smelled like a skunk mixed with body odor mixed with something else. And I had like 20 ducks at the time, and all I found of my ducks were their wings. No beak, no feet, no nothing else. And it looked like the wings had been torn straight off. Like, I'm not lying. You can ask other people in my family. It really did happen, was, right? And then the fetuses, we didn't find the feet, the beak, not just the wings, and they were hid and stuffed in an old doghouse that I wasn't using, and I'd let the grass grow up around it. That is a true story, child. But after they put in, I will say this, they put in new houses in the bottom. They removed the trees, right? And they put in some new houses down there, like down in the bottom area where it used to be just from the creek, because I lived by a creek at that time. I don't live there no more, but I lived by a creek, right? And it was just woods from the creek and the fields. So there was no people there. I think that's the way he was coming. But then after a while, they cleared out those trees and they put in some new houses right there. And I didn't have no more sightings. None at all. Not after that. So I don't know, child. What do y'all have any scary stories? Some freaky things that may have happened to y'all? Some spooky ghost stories? Have you had any supernatural things happen in your life? Because I had another one that had happened to me when I was 5, 6 years old, y'all. Do y'all remember those old school clicker TVs where you had like 1 through 20 something or 19 on the top and 20 something through 40 something on the bottom or something like that? It had the clickies and you had to click it to click to the other side. And it was old school. They had 3 clicks on it, like, little turny knobs. And the first knob only went from like channel 1 to, I forget exactly what channel it was, but like 20 something, 30 something. And the second knob went from such and such to such and such, right? And on the first knob, you had to put it on the star or something to do the second knob. Okay, so we was watching Woody the Woodpecker. I don't know if y'all remember that when they used to do that on Saturday mornings, right? You used to watch Woody the Woodpecker, right? We was watching that. And all of a sudden, the TV started clicking. You know what I'm saying? The clicks started click, 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 clicking. I'm like, and my dad told me, he said, get up, go change the TV. Because, back in the day, we was the TV remote, right? So I get up and I go turn the TV back to the channel. And then I go sit down back in my little spot on the floor. And I had a Haribo dish. It was like a candy dish. Those old pretty glass ones. You know which ones I'm talking about with the little lids and stuff? But my mama, instead of putting candy in it, she put my Haribos in it, right? Well, it raised up off the TV and just hovered there for a few minutes, and then it slung right in front of me and busted. If I hadn't jumped back, it would have hit me. He was mad at me, whatever it was. I say he because I think that's what the ghost was, because I changed the TV. He was being all beholdish. Oh, you play with a Ouija board? See, I ain't touching them Ouija boards. Child. I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. I don't touch them things. You open a portal you can't never close. So what happened? Did you see something? Did something happen? You can hit the link if you want to. I got it pinned. What happened? Did doors start slamming and stuff start happening? Now there's this one scary story about around here that my brother told me about, right? That there's this house if you go to, there's a tree in the middle of the road. It's like a little old gravel road, right? There's a tree right in the middle. Or you could type it in chat, Miss Queen, before you. It's up to you. There's a tree right in the middle of the road. Okay, when you first pull up, it's just like a little shack house, right? Like just a little white house. All right, it's way down this old back road, way back in the woods. And when you first pull up, they say that the women and the men see something total different, right? Okay, Miss Queen, for you, I'll watch that. And the men and the women see something totally different. Okay, the men see a black figure, like like smoke figure coming at them, like a scary, scary thing. And they see it coming at them, right? And it scares them, and they get this ominous feeling. Now the women hear a woman screaming bloody murder, and she is hollering and wailing and all this other stuff. And then they hear like boom, bang, bang, and they hear all these real freaky noises, and it scares to the point that everybody takes off running, right? Gets in the car, and they say when you go back through on that tree, you can see the man hanging. See, what had happened was the story behind it is that he supposedly came home and murdered his wife, right? He murdered her, right? And then he couldn't deal with what he had done in a fit of rage, and he went out to the tree and hung himself. He couldn't take what he had did. So he committed suicide. You know what I'm saying? And they say that it's so haunted with what happened that, that's what's going on. And there's a house in Aberdeen, Mississippi, where there was this old lady who lived there, right? And there, my mom lived in this house, and another couple of people I know moved in this house. They say when people move in this house, they move out and will leave everything. Like something starts attacking the house and stuff, right? So they will leave everything, right? And the reason they say this the house is haunted like this is the old lady did not want the new highway to go by her house, right? So she didn't want the new highway. They say she cursed the land, y'all. They say she was an old witch and she cursed the land. So now whoever moves into that house, because the family, she told the family, don't sell off the house. Well, they did, and they built the highway in front of her house, and so now anybody moves in that house, they get like a creature that attacks the house and tries to come in. And there's this other big old antebellum. They say that the walls bleed, y'all. Yeah, there's a lot of scary stories, y'all. There's a lot of. Okay, I'm gonna read what Miss Online said. Um, yes, there's a man shadow that lives with us. A house 24 years ago, and an elder lady passed on, and she only appears in my 1 year old's bedroom only. Uh, he'd wake up and talk to her. She was lovely. Now I have had some good experiences. We had one dude at our old house. Somebody unalived him when they were playing a game of spades or something like that, right? Or dominoes or poker. Um, and it was dang. But he used to play jokes on us all the time, turning up down the radio. And let me say it like this: the bathroom door did not have a lock on it. There's no way you could lock that bathroom door. And sometimes it would feel like it was locked. You couldn't open the door. It was crazy. But he bothered nothing. He wasn't bad. But yeah, there's a lot of scary things that happen all over the place, right? So I figured we could talk about scary, spooky stories, and say what had happened to us, because you never know when somebody might have a good one because there's something had happened to them, right? A lot of stuff had happened. I know that some people's like, "Oh, child, I'm scared of the scary stories." But that's what we're supposed to do on Halloween. We're supposed to talk about scary stories on Halloween. I gotta send myself those pretty pictures. Um, I know that, like, okay, so not to snitch on yourself where you live, right? But what's some urban legends that you've heard from your area? Yeah, there's always like that one old haunted house in everybody's area that nobody wants to go into, that you've heard all the stories about. And there's always that one place like when you was a kid that somebody dared you to go to. You know, a lot of places has got that. This like I know, don't go there, don't go there, don't do that. Oh, here's a good one. We'll see if hold on. Oh, this may be a good video watch. It's only 4 minutes long. Oh, and then I'll share it in the comment. Let's see. I'm going to pause it right here. And I'm going to screen share this. I'm going to get on their YouTube channel so I can share out their YouTube channel. Let's see here. Let's share, copy. I'm going to share this one right here because I think the first story may be about that house that I was talking about. I'm not sure. So we're going to share screen right quick. Present. Okay. And first I need to present, y'all know I got to present my copyright disclaimer, and I am going to give credence and, what do you call that? I'm going to share her channel out. I'm also going to put it in the description box when this video is done playing. But this is the lady. This is the video. I'm doing my copyright disclaimer right quick, y'all. I'm doing my copyright. We're doing this for, purposes. We're going to do it for commentary. We're using it for comments. Okay, that's what we're going to, because we're going to talk about it after the fact. Okay, so I had to do that. Let me go ahead and share this screen instead. We're going to watch this one and we're going to talk about it.
Raven House in Vicksburg was built in 1797 and was a simple two-story dwelling with a kitchen on the first floor and a bedroom on the second. The only way to access the second floor was by ladder. The house was owned by notorious criminal Andrew Glass, who was known for robbing and murdering travelers along the Natchez Trace. According to legends, Glass was shot one night but was able to make it home. Knowing he was going to die anyway, he had his wife finish him off in the bedroom. Some legends claim that Glass was a womanizer and that his wife slit his throat out of anger and jealousy. Whatever happened, Glass was the first of several people to lose their life here. Around 1836, Vicksburg Sheriff Stephen Howard and his young teenage wife, Mary Elizabeth, became the new owners and made improvements to the house to accommodate their growing family. The Howards closed in a balcony and added stairs to the second floor. They also added a dining room, two side balconies, and a second upstairs bedroom. At the time, 15-year-old Mary Elizabeth was pregnant. After giving birth, she died from complications and her husband and child moved out of the house. The final renovation to McRaven came in 1849 when John H. Bobb bought the home. He added the front entry, a parlor, flying wing staircase, and another upstairs bedroom and dressing area. During the siege of Vicksburg during the Civil War, John Bobb and his wife Selina used the home as a hospital for both Union and Confederate soldiers. They also built a cave under the house, which they stayed in during the siege. Many of the soldiers died from their injuries, and the house received a lot of damage from cannonballs during the battle. There are reports to say 11 unidentified bodies were buried on the property, and some were not whole bodies, but pieces. About a year after the Vicksburg siege, legends say that John saw some Union soldiers destroying the rose bushes he had in his yard, and he threw a brick at one of them. Swearing revenge, the soldiers returned that night, dragged John out of bed, and shot him several times, killing him. His wife then sold the house and moved to Louisiana. McRaven House remained vacant for several years until William and Ellen Murray bought it in 1886. They are the only known residents to raise children in the home. Two of the Murray's daughters remained in the home all of their lives. The Spencer sisters, Ella and Annie, lived with no modern conveniences except a telephone. Ella died at home in 1960, and Annie sold it and moved into a nursing home. The Bradleys then bought McRaven House in 1961 and turned it into a tour home. It was added to the National Registry of Historical Places in 1979 under the name Bobb House. In 1985, Leland French bought the house and converted it back to a residence, and it seems the spirits of McRaven did not like French. While he was living there, he reported being physically attacked several times, including having an unseen force push him to the floor, breaking his glasses and causing him to need stitches. Another time, drawers were slammed shut on his hand, breaking two of his fingers. French eventually contacted a priest and had the house blessed, which seemed to help some. In 2007, French put the house up for sale. The Reed family bought the property in 2015 and turned it back into a tour house and museum. With all the death in the house, it is no surprise there is a lot of documented paranormal activity. The most active ghost at McRaven is said to be Mary Elizabeth Howard. Mary's bedroom still holds many of her belongings, including the bed she died in and her wedding shawl. Mary has been reported to be seen looking out her bedroom window and will disappear when she is noticed. Dresser drawers open in her room and close by themselves, and when someone picks up her shawl, she will pull it out of their hands. Mary is said to be a friendly ghost, but likes to play pranks too. She has been known to lead guests astray, turn lights on and off, make alarm clocks go off randomly, touch people, and even photobomb guests. Andrew Glass has been seen in his own bedroom, and many people report that even if you don't see him, you will feel his presence. Women have reported being touched, and men claim to have irrational bouts of anger in his room. A chair that sits in there has also been reported to tilt back by itself and then slam forward. John Bob has also been reported to be seen strolling the porch smoking a cigar. He has also been reported to appear in the middle of tours on occasion. William Murray, Ella and Annie's father, has been reported to be seen throughout the house and heard playing the piano. Civil War soldiers are also a common sight. One particular Confederate soldier has been reported to be seen in the house since 1864. Native Americans have also been seen. It is believed that the 1830s Trail of Tears came through the property, which contributes to the native apparitions. Other reports include orbs and photos, objects moving on their own, phantom taps in the men's changing room, and two ghost boys named Eric and Peekaboo play with toys around the house.
I will say that the Natchez Trace does have an actual place that you can go and walk through. That is the Trail of Tears, and it's the Natchez Trace Parkway. They have actually quite a few stops along the way that are historical sites, some spooky sites. Hey, Miss Trish, Smash It. Hey, Miss Smash It. You know, it's my favorite nickname for you. So the Natchez Trace itself, the Natchez Trace Parkway, goes from Tennessee all the way down to Jackson, Mississippi, right? And along the way, you have quite a few stops and lookouts, right? They have one called the Witches Dance. Okay, now the Witches Dance. Let me see, Natchez Trace. Okay, now the Witches Dance is a real thing. Okay, and it is in Mississippi. If you ever have a chance to go down the Natchez Trace, right? It's a little place, and the story behind it is the Witches Dance site is a trailhead for the Witch Dance Horse Trail, part of the Tom Bigby National Forest. They do that, but the very name conjures visions of eerie midnight, swirling black capes, brooms, and stacks against a nearby tree. The old folks say the witches gathered here to dance, and whenever their feet touched the ground, the grass withered and died, never to grow again. Impossible? Maybe so, but look around. Look for a hidden spot where no grass grows. And so they have trails that you can walk. And they say if you find the actual area, there's a round circle, right? To where no grass grows in that area. So some of these are some real scary stories from Mississippi, y'all. Um, we just looked over that house. That was off of the Natchez Trace, y'all. We're gonna go to this one.
Mercritis was an infectious disease that, among other things, transformed women into homicidal maniacs. If you try and research the outbreak that happened in the small town of Mississippi during the 1950s, you won't find much information. But if you ask anyone who knew someone who was affected by it, they will tell you it was very real. Mercritis is a very frightening disease that supposedly hit the southern United States and was rumored to quickly be covered up by the government. Because of the cover up, you will find that most stories about the disease come from friends of friends who had a cousin who knew someone affected by the outbreak. Mercritis is believed to be caused by men who ingest large amounts of lead, which is deadly, from paint or some other source, which causes them to secrete a pheromone that makes women around him completely hormonal and unreasonable. The first reported incident of Mercritis was actually reported in Europe in the 1700s when a man was chased by dozens of women throughout a seaside village. In attempts to evade the women, he ran into freezing waters. According to villagers' reports, the females did not seem to care for their own lives and chased the man into the water, where everyone died, including the man. In the 1950s, an outbreak in a small Mississippi town, the name which was quickly covered up, happened when several men contracted the illness through ingestion of near lethal doses of lead. Soon after, a large number of women in town went into a homicidal rage and swept through the town, destroying property in a quest to chase down and murder every man they could. In the wake of the outbreak, the town was almost completely devastated. No one knew for sure the extent of property damage or how many people died because, according to rumors, the federal government rushed in and hid the evidence, and the medical community quickly covered up any trace of the outbreak.
Now on that one, I had heard about that one too. That's the one where basically they supposedly they ingested like lead paint, and so that's how that urban legend started. There she is true on the fact that there is no like true like newspaper article or anything, and everybody does say it was a government cover up, but that's an urban legend. You know how them go. Some can be true, some cannot be true. It's what y'all think about it, because that's a crazy one. We're gonna go to Stuckey's Bridge. I've heard about this one too.
On a lonely gravel road southwest of Meridian, Mississippi, sits an old truss bridge that is no longer open to vehicles. It spans 112 feet across the Chunky River. The bridge was a replacement bridge for the one erected by early settlers in 1850. According to legends, during the reconstruction, workers began to discover bodies buried on the banks of the river. The bodies were believed to be that of travelers who had been murdered by a local innkeeper. Stuckey owned a small inn near the banks of the Chunky River on an old dirt stage road that was the only road out of Meridian at the time. As the town grew after the Civil War, more and more travelers found their travelers for a hot meal and a warm bed. It is said, though, at night he would go out to the old bridge and call the travelers floating down the river. Those who were lured by Old Man Stuckey's lantern had no idea he had a much more sinister intention than merely earning a dollar. According to legends, once the travelers were asleep, Stuckey would sneak into their rooms, hit them over the head, and drag their lifeless bodies to the riverbank to be buried before stealing their possessions. It didn't take long for reports of missing people to begin to surface around town. Immediately, suspicions were turned to Old Man Stuckey. The local sheriff organized a posse and headed out to confront him. He was quickly arrested and given a trial right then. Stuckey was then forcibly taken to the bridge and hung for his crimes. The posse left his body dangling over the river for 5 days. When they finally cut him down, they let his body drop into the water below to join those he had buried along the shores. The original bridge that Stuckey was hung from was replaced in 1901, but his soul is said to still roam, bitter and angry about suffering the same fate as his victims. Reports from those who have visited the bridge at night say they hear a ghostly splash in the water, and they report seeing an eerie blue glow coming from the spot where legends say that Stuckey was hung. Others have reported seeing the apparition of a man hanging from the trusses, or seeing Old Man Stuckey walking across the bridge, carrying his lantern, looking for more victims.
Now that story I have heard about, that you can still see him, and it's trestles is the way we say it down here. You can still see him hanging from it. They say that if you go through there a certain night, and then other times, like there's a bridge down here that they say you can hear a baby crying, and you hear something, like sometimes you don't see him, sometimes you just hear a plop, like the people hear a plop in the water, like something just hit the water. And now this one is the Robert Johnson and the Crossroads deal that we were talking about not long ago. Um, this is a huge urban legend, obviously, in Mississippi.
Famous blues musician Robert Johnson left a legacy of music that would outlive him and grow over time, influencing many notable musicians even today. There is little known about Robert's life. Most of what is known has come to surface in recent years. One thing is for certain, mysteries surround this blues legend. Robert Johnson was born the 10th child to his mother in Hazelhurst, Mississippi in May of 1911. His mother, Julia Major Dodds, was married to a successful farmer and carpenter named Charles Dodds. Robert was born out of wedlock because his mother had an affair with a field hand named Noah Johnson. Charles left Julia before Robert's birth, and most of their children followed him to Memphis. Julia remarried when Robert was 7 years old, and they moved to Robinsonville, Mississippi. Robert had always been interested in music and did have skills with the harmonica, but despite his best efforts, he didn't have a talent for the guitar. Robert still spent a lot of time at juke joints and stores trying to learn. His ambitions came to a screeching halt when he married his first wife, Virginia Travis, when he was only 17 years old. Once Virginia became pregnant, he gave up music to earn money working the fields. When it was close to the time for the baby to be born, Virginia returned to her family. Soon after, Johnson followed her, but made many stops along the way to perform. By the time he arrived, his wife and child had died from complications during birth. Devastated by his loss, Robert returned to music, performing any chance he could. He was often booed from the stage and finally disappeared for months. When Robert returned and performed again at the last place he was booed off the stage, the audience was amazed at his new and improved guitar playing skills. Nobody could believe he learned that much in such a short amount of time, and rumors started that Robert Johnson and the devil had made a pact so he could obtain guitar playing talent. One version of these rumors was that Johnson met the devil at the crossroads outside of town, where the devil tuned a guitar and gave it to Johnson to play in exchange for his soul. People were stunned by Robert's newfound talents, and he only fueled the rumors about the devil by writing songs like Me and the Devil. Robert ended up with another girl named Virgie King, but her parents forbid her from seeing him, and soon Robert began drinking, womanizing, strumming, and crooning his way through the Delta. Finally, Robert got his chance to record his music in 1836. His first single, Terraplane Blues, sold 5,000 copies. Before he could enjoy his success, Robert died mysteriously at the age of 27, the same age as many other modern music legends. He died in Greenwood, Mississippi on August 8, 1938, but his death certificate didn't list a cause. Who or what killed Robert Johnson is still a mystery. Many believe it was a jealous husband of a woman he was having an affair with who poisoned his whiskey, and some speculate that it was the woman herself, or perhaps a woman secretly in love with Robert who was jealous. Another theory is that syphilis killed him. Still, there are many who claim the devil came to collect on the deal he had made. Regardless of the cause, Robert Johnson was laid to rest. But where is another question. There was never a tombstone erected for Robert, so his true resting place is still a mystery. There are several places that claim to be his final resting place. Mount Zion Ministry Baptist Church near Morgan City, Mississippi, claims Robert Johnson is buried in their cemetery, but they are not sure which unmarked grave is his. They have erected a monument in his honor in 1990. The Payne Chapel near Quado, Mississippi also claims to be the true location of Robert Johnson's remains and have also established a tombstone in his honor. Little Zion Church Cemetery near Greenwood, Mississippi also has a marker stating it is the authentic resting place for the musical genius. So, did Robert Johnson really sell his soul to the devil to become the unrivaled blues musician? How did he really die? And where is he laid to rest? These questions still persist to intrigue people today, but nothing can take away from the strong legacy Robert Johnson made to 20th century music. Doc.
So the Crossroads deal is very famous. A lot of people know about the Crossroads Demon deal. It's been shown in a lot of shows. A lot of them, like Supernatural, the show Supernatural. Hey, D-Ham, good morning. The Supernatural TV show actually had it in one of its episodes, right? And that's how they started the Crossroads deal thing. There's actually also on Netflix a show called The Devil at the Crossroads, which is talking about, Robert Johnson and the Crossroads deal. So if you have Netflix, it's called Devil at the Crossroads. For those who may or may not want to watch it, I want to put out that information, right? So I wanted to make sure everybody knew that there's that one, so that everybody can go, maybe possibly watch more about it. There was a real man named Robert Johnson. He really was a blues legend. Some people say that he could not play a lick, and then all of a sudden he was like the best player ever, right? So that's where the Crossroads deal thing came in, and the fact that there was mystery around the way he passed away. It's been rumored for a while now. So on Netflix, they do have it's called Devil at the Crossroads. So you could probably find it a lot more. So yeah, I watched the Andrew Hernandez thing too. So yeah, I'm gonna be watching more of that. But we're gonna talk about that. I am gonna do that. But let's go ahead and see what this next one is, y'all.
Dr. Howard Nutt began construction on Longwood Mansion in 1858. He wanted to build a true architectural miracle, a house big enough for his family as well as portray his wealth and be an object for admiration throughout the centuries. Historical records show that more than 1 million bricks were used, and the dome cupola on top was made by famed architect Samuel Salome from Philadelphia. When the American Civil War started, it put a stop to construction, with only the basement being completed. The family suffered great financial loss during the war. Dr. Nutt had most of his wealth stolen and his lands burned, leaving them unable to finish the work on their home. Because of this, the property became known as Nutt's Folly. The tragedy took its toll on his health, and it is said that Dr. Nutt died in sadness. Some say he died of pneumonia, and others say it was a heart attack. Regardless of his death, it made the family's bad situation worse. Julia, Dr. Nutt's wife, and 8 children lived in the basement of the unfinished house until her death in 1897. After years of sitting abandoned and decaying, Nutt's dependents donated the property to the Pilgrimage Garden Club in 1970, who preserved it and manage a museum and historical site today. Today, the mansion seems frozen in time, with the basement holding the original furniture from the family, as well as luggage and wooden crates. On the unfinished upper floors, tools, building materials, and paint buckets still lay scattered about. There are also parts of columns lying on the floor, still awaiting workers who never returned. The entrance to the basement is located at the back of the house, and the family cemetery where Dr. Nutt and his wife are buried are also near the mansion. According to reports, Dr. Nutt and his wife remained in the mansion. People have reported seeing Dr. Nutt several times in the garden, and Julia has been reported to be seen on the staircase. It is also said that when Julia's spirit is around, there will be the smell of roses, even in the middle of winter. The Oriental style villa on the hillside proudly possesses the unofficial title as the largest octagonal shaped house in the U.S. and possibly the world. Its ghostly atmosphere also made it the perfect location for 2010's True Blood to use as the castle of the Vampire King of Mississippi and Louisiana. At Glenwood Cemetery in Yazoo, Mississippi, there is a grave surrounded by chains known as the Witch's Grave. According to legends, an old woman that lived on the Yazoo River was caught.
Just to help the lady out, it's Yazoo, the Yazoo River. Also, you can look up, it's called, if you're looking into the story we just listened to before, it's called Nutt's Folly, which is Nutt apostrophe SFOLLY. I'm going to share this tab right quick. As you can see, it is a real place. The house really does still stand there, right? It is considered a historic site now, right? It's considered a historic home. And you can, it's called, they still have it to where you can go see it and all that stuff. So it's still there, and everything. You can actually do tours. If you sit here and look, you can see some of the beautiful stuff. Like it's, there's a lot of stuff there, but I just wanted to show that right quick, that there really is, a house. If we view the image here, let's share this tab instead. It's a really beautiful home. As you can see, like the windows have been knocked, obviously, because people are crazy, right? But it really does still stand. Historically, they still keep it up as much as possible. Obviously, I just wanted to show that really is a real place. It's not faked, but you can look it up, okay? I just want to let people know that. Let's go back to the video. Where did I do to the video? Don't tell me I just accidentally. Okay. Where did I? Oh, there we go. Let me share this tab instead. Let's go back and watch it.
torturing fishermen that she lured off the river. When the sheriff went to confront her, she ran away. The sheriff chased her through the swamps. Then, when he finally caught up with the old woman, she was sinking in quicksand. It was here she vowed her revenge on Yazoo City, saying, "In 20 years, I will return and burn this town to the ground." At the time, no one paid attention to the threat until May 25th, 1904, 20 years later. A fire broke out in Yazoo City, destroying 324 residents and businesses. There were many theories on how the fire started, but none have been conclusive. The most popular one is that the fire started in the parlor of Miss Wise, who was getting ready for her wedding that day. This could very well be true, but the strangest thing reported is the strong winds that were blowing that day, which were unusual for the time, and many people blamed the witch. According to witnesses, the flames jumped through the air as if driven by something supernatural. One interesting fact of the story is the area weather reports for May 25th, 1904 make no mention of high winds in the area. When a group of townspeople went out to Glenwood Cemetery the next day, they found the large chains that were placed around her grave broken in two. The original headstone of the alleged witch simply stated TW, possibly for the witch. The headstone is now long gone. When a new headstone was placed, it mysteriously fell and split in two not long after being placed. Today, no one can explain why this happened. Also, the chains surrounding the grave are constantly being repaired, only to fall apart again a short time later. Today, legends claim that when all of the chains are gone from her grave, the witch will return to exact her revenge on Yazoo City. Built by Colonel George Hampton Young in 1852, Waverly Mansion sits overlooking the Tombigbee River. During its heyday, the plantation was a community.
Just to help her out again, the name of the river is the Tombigbee River. So if she rewatches this, I'm trying to help out. It's the Tombigbee River. But yes, Yazoo County does have a lot of mystery surrounding the Yazoo Witch. I've reported on this once before. So some of these may be a little bit of a repeat. I apologize. But I did like the way that she did her, her top 10 urban legend video.
Of gardens, orchards, and livestock. The property included a brick kiln, cotton gin, ice house, swimming pool with a bath house. The gas for the chandeliers was produced by burning pine knots. In later years, it had its own lumber mill, leather tannery, and hat manufacturing operation. It is said that the first American-made saddle blankets were produced at Waverly, and the first fox hunt association formed in the mansion's library in 1893. When the last surviving son of Colonel Young died, the mansion remained vacant for 50 years. Harsh weather and vandals took its toll on the plantation, but the foundation and interior remained intact. It was during this time rumors began about the hauntings. One of the former owners of the mansion says the house is haunted by a little ghost girl believed to be about 3 years old. She is thought to be the daughter of a neighbor who had gotten her head stuck in the stair spindles on the second floor and broke her neck. There have been reports of people hearing a child's voice calling "Mama" when there are no children around. Reports from the mansion include the apparitions of the little girl wearing a white, high-neck dress with long blonde hair. She is believed to also sleep in an upstairs bedroom where the linens often appear rumpled in the shape of a small child. The ghost child spirit is most often seen on the stairs leading to the second floor. If she is approached, she disappears. Other reports include the apparition of a Confederate soldier who appears in mirrors standing behind guests, and the piano music being heard playing in the parlor. About a quarter mile off the coast of Biloxi sits Deer Island. The tropical 400-acre island is home to many different types of endangered species, as well as the state's two most mysterious entities. According to legends, two fishermen were planning on staying overnight at the island. While they were sitting around their campsite, they heard something moving.
Before we get on to Deer Island, Waverly Mansion is a real place and it's an amazing property. It's in West Point, Mississippi. She didn't say where it was from, but I'm just going to show y'all where it's from. It's off the Tombigbee River. She's not lying about that. But it is a beautiful property, right? I'm going to see here. Like, they still have a lot of the old stuff. You can actually go visit it, take tours. Actually, I believe it's for sale right now. A lot of them in West Point are. See this beautiful staircases where you can see the center here. It's actually very, very pretty. It's a real place in West Point, Mississippi. There's the double staircases right there. Look at those double staircases, y'all, and those hardwood floors. And actually, I have heard of people getting married at some of these places before. But yeah, Waverly is a really, there's the spirit of the two girls, described as being 4 years old with dark blonde hair. She wears a white high neck gown. Is surmised that it was her that was often plainly seen playing on the double staircase. Mrs. Snow noticed an imprint of a child sleeping on one of the beds upstairs one night. Both the Snows stayed up and watched the bed. Sure enough, a little unseen presence climbed up to the side of the bed and lay down on the bed. After an hour or two, this unseen presence got up and slipped down the side of the bed. Mrs. Snow would hear a little voice behind her saying, "Mama." One day when she heard this plaintive, sad little voice, she turned around and squatted down and asked the ghost child in a manner, "Can I help you? What is the matter?" The spirit of the little girl who died from diphtheria. She may have been the spirit seen on the stairs. The spirits have tried to get the attention of the living. They try to get their mansion fixed during the 50 years of abandonment. When the mansion was neglected, neighbors could hear loud 1800s music coming from the mansion. Some think the music is residual. Some think the music was caused by spirits trying to get the attention of the living. The adults that had not appreciated it. Enormously loud crashes have been heard in the house, yet nothing is found disturbed. Doors heard slamming shut, but none found closed. There's the spirit of George Young, likes to appear in the mansion mirrors in front of the living. There's the spirit of the Confederate soldier, most probably the spirit of Beverly Young, like father, like son. The playful spirit gets his chuckles by appearing behind a living person who is looking in one of the full-length mirrors. Spirits of soldiers are often like to tease the living. Still haunted, most probably so. That the structure has been fully restored. Spirits who love the place may want to visit and enjoy the beauty of their forever house. The spirits have made themselves clearly known. The spirit of Sarah Hamilton has been quiet since Mrs. Snow spoke kindly to her. She may have realized that Mrs. Snow was not her mother, but found instead some peace and gone to her light, or could still come visit, no longer stuck there in emotional pain. The other spirit child may still be there playing on the stairs, as a little girl has been seen by witnesses. It is felt that the members of the Young family are in visitation, and I bet George Young himself keeps an eye on his forever home. So this house has been also showed in a lot of paranormal, shows before. It is called Waverly Plantation House. It is in West Point, Mississippi. I just wanted to give the actual place of where it was from. Let's go back to the video, y'all. Oh, and you had an ex-coworker, D-Ham, from Yazoo? Also, hi. Let's go back to the video, y'all.
in the bushes. Thinking it was just a hog, they tried to ignore it, but the sound got louder. When they went to where the sound was coming from, they came face to face with a headless skeleton, which chased them off. Scared, the two fishermen ran to their boat and left everything behind on the island. Many people believe the headless skeleton is a pirate whose head was cut off by his captain when he volunteered treasure they had just buried. Throughout the years, many fishermen have claimed to see the headless ghost and recount similar chains of events. Another legend from Deer Island is a firewater ghost. This mysterious light has been moving across the bay between Biloxi and Ocean Springs long before the invention of electricity. According to legends, the light is believed to be some sort of guard patrolling the area with a lantern in his hand.
So Deer Island is also a real place. It is right off of the coast of of Biloxi, Mississippi. Now the casinos have tried to acquire Deer Island, but the state owns it, and so they do not want to change the wildlife and anything that's on it. So they have not, sold off the land or, did anything for it. But you actually can go. It's a preserve. You can go to see Deer Island if you choose. Um, I'm gonna share this tab right quick. Uh, it says, "Welcome to Deer Island." Coastal preserve. Deer Island is located right off the coast of Biloxi. Although technically not a barrier island, Deer Island is home to 10 types of endangered species. For visitors looking for a secluded getaway, this island is the perfect place to boat, canoe, or paddleboard. As always, please mind the first rule of beach going: leave only your footprints behind. So you actually can go visit Deer Island if you choose to.
The Isle of Caprice, originally known as Dog Island, sits about 12 miles offshore between East Ship and Horn Island. Its name, Caprice, is really an appropriate name for the isle. According to Webster's New World Dictionary, a caprice is a sudden, impulsive change in the way one thinks or acts, or whim. This mysterious island seems to appear and disappear on a whim. The island was there in 1847, but vanished just a decade later, only to pop back up 50 years later, just in time for the Roaring Twenties. In 1926, a resort opened on the Isle of Caprice offering dancing, surf bathing, boating, fishing, and games, according to advertisements of the time. But the real incentives were unadvertised gambling and drinking. Although booze wasn't sold here, guests were welcome to bring their own or buy it from private boats that just so happened to be near the island. According to records, the Isle of Caprice was a very popular place until the 1930s when it again disappeared. According to legends, a storm was on its way from the Gulf, headed straight for the island. Despite the threat of the storm, the party went on, with many people deciding to stay on the island instead of going to the safety of the mainland. 2 days after the storm, rescuers left Biloxi and headed out to the island to rescue anyone who stayed through the storm. When they arrived, all they found were bodies and debris floating in the water. The island had disappeared and there were no survivors. Legends say if you go out to the area where the Isle of Caprice lies beneath the surface, you can hear rowdy laughter abruptly replaced with terrified screams, then total silence. Chapel of the Cross Church and Cemetery was established in 1855 by Margaret Johnston in Madison, Mississippi. The church is still an active church today, regardless of the reported hauntings. The most famous haunting from the Chapel of the Cross is that of Helen Johnston, who was a victim of one of Mississippi's tragic tales of heartbreak and loss. According to legends, just before her wedding in 1859, Helen's beloved fiance, Henry Vick, was killed in a duel. Helen's family promised her that one day when she left this earth, they would have her body buried next to her lost love. Unfortunately, they did not follow through, and the woman has been reported to be seen sitting by a tombstone crying. Other reports say that there is also the apparition of two children seen passing through the iron gates, climbing up a tree and sitting together just before they vanish. There are also reports of pipe organ music coming from the church after it's been locked up for the night, and the sounds of frenzied laughing from someone unseen.
Okay, so that was the end of that video. There is a real place. I'm going to share this screen instead, called Chapel of the Cross. It really is. It's an Episcopal church in Madison, Mississippi. So it is real. It is not, and you can go visit it. This is what it looks like. Let me see if we can. Oh, well, I can't really make them bigger without going to a different tab, but it's really a real church. So there is a real place called Chapel, and it's near Newcastle, near in Meridian, Mississippi. So it really is. You can go see it. The Chapel of the Cross Church is still there, and it's still a place that you can go see. I just want to make sure that people know the real places, right? But isn't that crazy, y'all? About, the different places and different, like, if you think about where you live and all that other stuff. And Mr. Conscious Energy, the videos the video's over with now. But I will say this, that it's freaky if you look at some of the real true stuff. Like, there's real places like that, right, that are extremely haunted. They got all these stories behind them. And but I have myself been to Waverly Plantation because I live up in North, right? So I've been there. I used to live in West Point at one time, which is crazy. But a lot of those plantations around there are. If you also look up another place called Aberdeen, Mississippi, there's a lot of plantation homes there too that are extremely haunted. And I've noticed that a lot of things that are close to the Natchez Trace is haunted, because the Natchez Trace, if you don't know, is what the reason that it is a parkway and they try to preserve it is that's supposedly the original Trail of Tears. And I know that y'all have heard of the Trail of Tears, right? That's by way of how they took the American Indians, the Native Americans, to, the places, right? And it's really sad if you look up. Everybody knows the story of the Trail of Tears. It's the amount of people that passed away along the Natchez Trace itself is probably extremely haunted all the way from the bottom to the back. But they actually have a place on the Natchez Trace where you can actually walk the real Trail of Tears, because they made it just a little off to the side of it, right? And they actually have a walkway, a walk place where you can walk the actual Trail of Tears, which, it's, you got to think a lot has happened in the state of Mississippi when it comes to history wise, right? So there's a lot of, just crazy stuff that's like that. So there's a lot that goes on with that, right? I know myself that I have found many arrowheads in backyards of places that I used to live. You can go to the creeks and find them. You know, it's crazy, the history, because me, myself, and I'm half Cherokee. Well, probably less than half. Um, but I do know that one of my cousins actually got her card to be able to go live on reservation if she wants to. I just happen to take after the German side more and be Pella's whatever. Now that's what I'm on my dad's side. They're German and American Indian, right? My great 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 grandfather was German, and my great 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 grandmother was full blooded Cherokee Indian. If you go back and you look in the times. Now on my mom's side, I don't know what all I'm mixed with, right? Could be a lot of things. But I do know that on my dad's side, that's where I get the high cheekbones and all that stuff. We could only trace my grandmother back so far because there's no my great 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 grandmother because there's not as many. We have her. Let me say it this way: we have her given name that she got after she left the reservation, right? But her original name, right? We do not have that because they didn't have, records like that. It was passed down from generation, generation, generation kind of thing. Um, I do know that she was supposed, she was the chieftain's daughter, and she was supposed to marry into another tribe. And her family disowned her because she went with him. She was supposed to go to it, or actually, he was supposed to marry into their tribe. But anyway, you know how it goes. She was actually promised to someone, and because she did what she did, But isn't it crazy thinking about all the think about where you live, right? And in your area, how many places around you are haunted that you don't even know, right? Think about the Menendez house where we were talking about the Menendez case. Do you think that house is haunted now, right? Because you got to think an awful murder happened there, right? So that place is probably extremely haunted by two spirits and whatnot. So that's crazy. But I do have to get ready to start my day. Um, Mr. Conscious Energy wanted me to let me see if I can copy this. Wanted me to drop his channel, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that for Mr. Conscious and whatnot. There you go, Mr. Conscious Energy. I hope you have a blessed day. I do have to go get started on my day, and we'll see what happens on these streets. I got to go rewatch. I hope Diva doesn't take it down because she went live when I went live, and I want to see what happened over there. Right now, I'm going to go do what I always do and see who is live at this moment. I also am going to put the description in the description box of this video because I did, play some of her content. I'm going to put Miss Holly Lore. That is the name of the lady who did the top 10 urban legends. So she may have other content that you want to look at. Her link in the description box so that you can go check out her channel if you would like. I'm going to drop it again in the live. James said his birth mother was Black and Navajo, and his birth father was Italian, Scandinavian, German, and very slightly Persian. See, that's crazy. How and nowadays we all got a little something, something in all of us. All that culture. That's a lot of culture. Like I might say, that's a lot of culture. I have no idea. I gotta do y'all. I'm gonna one day do one of them blood test things. Where you do the thing and they tell you what you all got in you. Because I'd like to have one of those. The only reason I know for a fact the Cherokee for me is real and the German is because I had a cousin who had to do it for had to do a family tree thing for her college. Like it was a college thing she had to do. So she even got her blood test, her test done so she could get her card to live on the reservation. That's the only reason I know it's true, because a lot of people will say they're mixed with Cherokee or Chickasaw or Choctaw or whatever, and they don't really know because they had, it's just something they heard, and they didn't never get the test done, right? The only reason I know for a fact that's true on my father's side is because one of my cousins, second cousin, I believe, had that done. So They were more than 1 in 36, which is what you have to be, or 1/16 in order to live on the reservation. You have to be, I think it's either more than 1/16 or more than 1/32, or whatever, 1 in 32. You know what I'm saying? They were more than that, and so they actually got the reservation card, right? So that's really cool. I could absolutely go get mine. You know what I'm saying? I I am sad, and I've been trying. I watch. There's this channel called Cherokee Nation where they actually show things that are happening on the Cherokee reservation. And I've been trying to semi teach myself the language, which is sad because it's part of my heritage, and I can't speak it, but I would want to learn that. But I'm gonna go look right now and see who's live, and check that out. And I got to make sure I refresh because y'all know YouTube be tripping sometimes. So I'm refreshing, make sure. Okay. I see that Mrs. Intel is live, and in her title it says "Wig Challenge canceled, Neck Bones Challenge it is." Intel's. I see that Miss Diva Tomboyish is still live. I see that Grown Folks TV is live, and his title says Beasley get a tissue. Diva has doo-doo on her nose, and Sassy, she don't like you. Here is why. Miss Diva says Sassy, the grandiose. There I go, messing up that word again. Narcissist. And then Miss Good Putty Cat is live from the Mode 3 sector, and her title says Friday Foolery. Then we got Try Me Now if you like the T sector or whatnot, the Latrice Island sector. Or no, that's Treesus. I know who Treesus is. Treesus is from the T sector. Why am I saying the other one? Anyway, sorry, Miss Treesus. Miss Treesus is live, and hers says, "Why is it so hard?" Then we have Law and Crime is also live. They are starting the Suitcase Murder Trial, and the Lillian Simon day 5 is happening. I see that King Zero Tolerance is live with his Cash App as his title. Rico DeSleaze is live, or it said he was live, but maybe he's on a members live. Oh no, it's a premiere. It says Rico DeSleaze addresses everybody. King Radio, and I'm not going to say that other word. I don't want to get struck. Cam the Trucker is live if you like the trucking community. Everything News is also live with the YSL Trial Day 147. It's not looking good for the prosecution after almost mistrial from yesterday. So we have that. Oh, we got a guest in the backstage. Let me make sure it is. Okay, it is authenticated. Hey, Jay Dizzle.
Hi.
How you doing this morning?
I dropped you a link back there. Because, and you could probably do this sometime next week. I was scrolling. I done been in and out of here this morning, but that's one thing where this lady, she got sentenced to 25 years for this. She got sentenced today for it, but I found that video to give to you so that you could take a look at it, and maybe you could talk about it next week sometime.
I'll probably handle it on Topic Tuesday, or because Monday is Mod Monday, and I want to try to get the mods to do that conversation I've been talking about with the moderator. So Topic Tuesday, that's perfect time because you're a subscriber. What is Topic Tuesday for? The subscribers should bring up their own thing.
Yeah, that is true, because essentially that article. So this lady was with her boyfriend for over 10 years. He thought that he was about to inherit a $30 million inheritance, and he was ready to break up with her. So she poisoned him with antifreeze, only for him to die. And there, ain't that crazy?
It is. Your thing just went out right in the middle when you said antifreeze, and then it popped back up.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. It just, you know how it does that thing where it drops somebody and pops them right back up?
Oh yeah. Okay.
And your picture's going too.
Oh, let me bring it back. So yeah, she essentially, Charlie, I don't know if he lied to her on purpose about an inheritance or what. Let me switch like that. Is it back?
Yes, it's back.
Okay, so he must have lied to her about an inheritance, or he thought that he was really gonna get one. So she put antifreeze in his sweet tea. He drank it and ended up being unalived. And now she just got sentenced to 25 years for it, and there was no inheritance all along. I was saying, ain't that crazy?
That is crazy, cause like, man, don't mess with the sweet tea. That's our southern thing. You know, that's like the house wine around here. Everybody got sweet tea in their refrigerator.
Uh-huh. I just thought that was wild for her to really think that she was about to come up on 30 million, and there was never even 30 million to begin with. So essentially she did that in vain. It was no point in it, and now she got to spend 25 years in prison.
I'm gonna make sure not only with that video that I also search the web for more information to make sure, you know, we get all the facts. You know how I do
Mhm.
that sometimes when they leave stuff out of the video or something. And
Uh-huh.
that'll be a great topic for Tuesday because that is crazy that she thought she was gonna get that money, child. She ain't getting nothing. Now she got 25 years, you know, in prison.
Mhm. Right. So yeah, I just wanted to give you that link in the back chat and tell you about that. But that's all. I know you about to end it. So okay.
Thank you, Jay Dunn, for coming up, love.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, bye.
Bye. Also to say, if you ain't a member of J Dunn, you should be. On Mondays we do members Mondays, and we have so much fun over there. It's a great conversation. And then on we have a lot of challenges coming up. Miss Dobie just said hers earlier, which I advertised, and then on the 20 this weekend, I think it's, let me go look. Leo has a, thank Leo the lioness for putting all of them together, and it makes it so much easier. So I do want to thank Leo the lioness for whoever helped, if she did it herself or whoever did it, to put all those banners in one little neat area because it makes it so much easier to advertise. So thank you to Leo the lioness for that one, because that makes it so much simpler. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. We have Saturday, October the 19th, Finish the Lyrics at Barry Carey. The Fall Centerpiece Creation Contest, Sunday, October the 20th, 2024 at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Miss Ronnie IQ. It can be Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. It's got to be a fall centerpiece. Then we have the Sweet Potato Challenge hosted by Miss Tracy's World, Sunday, the November the 10th at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. On October the 25th at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, we have Miss Lady Nika's third annual Halloween costume party. This will be her last one, she said. She's going to pass the baton off to somebody else. Now, on the very next day, on the 26th, we have Miss Lolo's. Miss Lolo's having her Halloween competition, Miss Lori, aka Lolo. Then we have the second annual poetry competition, also on the 26th, with Miss Jill Comfort Zone. All of the spots are taken, but we'll get to hear some great poetry from those 12 contestants. I believe it is 12, if I'm not mistaken. It will start at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on her channel. The cash pot is $500. She has three different first, second, and third place, winners. Then we're going to have the charcuterie board challenge with Miss Leo the Lioness. And Jay Dunn and Official D Spot will be co-hosting that day. Mrs. Pizarro will be a judge that day, and I think Mrs. Pizarro reached out to someone else to be a judge, and whatnot. So we're gonna see who all the judges are. But on Mrs. Leo's now, she does have certain criteria for hers. She wants you to have really good view of the charcuterie board, right? She don't care about what you look like in your face. She don't care what your kitchen look like. She wants to see what the charcuterie board itself is. So she wants your view to be good. So we're going to have all that coming up, y'all. We have a lot coming up. Ms. Zintel is doing her neck bone challenge. I guess the wig challenge is out the window. Maybe it'll come up at another time when she has more participants. more people willing to do so. But she's talking about the neck bone challenge because she already has some participants for it. If y'all want to go over there to Mrs. Intel, then feel free to head on over there. I hope y'all have a blessed and amazing day.
I'm from the TUBELO. I'm reppin' my hood, so love I'm gon' show from the TUBELO. I'm reppin' my hood to the day that I go from the TUBELO. I'm reppin' my hood, so love I'm gon' show from the TUBELO. I'm ripping my hood to the day that I go.
I'm from the west side, we don't need no introduction, this was the best ride. We all big boy rolling and holding, come take a test drive. Hilldale, Evergreen, Glenkirk, Adder Street.